We begin with the latest from Bangladesh. Voting is underway in the country's first general election. Since the deadly 2024 protests that ended former Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina's 15-year rule, and the stakes could not be higher. Over 127 million Bangladeshis are eligible to cast their vote, and some 5 million of them are first-time voters. As of 12 p.m. local time, the overall voter turnout stood at over 32%, according to the Election Commission. From the capital Dhaka to rural strongholds, long queues of voters formed early this morning. The Bangladeshis are also voting on a referendum promising democratic reforms. It proposes term limits for prime ministers, an upper house of parliament, and stronger institutional checks to prevent a return to one-party dominance. The top two contenders of this election, Bangladesh Nationalist Party's Tarique Rahman and Jamaat-e-Islami Shafiqur Rahman, cast their ballots. The interim leader, Yunus, also cast his ballot in Dhaka, calling the election a critical test of the durability of Bangladesh's democracy.
We will vote for the candidates, but the referendum is very important. I urge all to take part in the referendum so that we can build a new Bangladesh. This is a day of utmost joy in my life.
Yes, it is a turning point, and we are waiting for that point, inshallah. People demand change, they desire change, we also desire the change.
Nearly 1 million security personnel have been deployed nationwide. Bangladeshi media is reporting the instances of poll-related violence, including crude bomb attacks and voter intimidation. International observers, including the United Nations, had flagged fears of violence ahead of the polls. But former Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina's Awami League, banned from contesting the ongoing polls, has called the election a sham. The Awami League has called the Reform Charter referendum unconstitutional, claiming that the Yunus administration seems to scrap secularism in Bangladesh. Notably, Hasina remains in India since her ouster in August 2024.
This staged exercise is not only about excluding Awami League. Rather, this sham polls excludes several political parties that oppose to radical ideology and stands for a liberal country. Merely for their political belief aligned with Awami League, millions of voters are threatened with death and subjected to state-sponsored pogrom, including intimidation and torture, forcing them to cast the ballot against their will, a meticulous design to inflate voter turnout. The referendum that seeks to scrap secularism is an outright unconstitutional exercise plotted to erase the founding constitution that has been born out of blood of millions of war heroes who fought and own this flag and freedom from Pakistani occupational army.
And with Hasina's Awami League barred, the main contest is between Tarique Rahman's Bangladesh Nationalist Party and an alliance spearheaded by Jamaat-e-Islami. Jamaat, which was banned by Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina's government, is contesting again after its registration was restored last year under the Yunus-led interim administration. The election is underway for Parliament's 299 of 300 directly elected seats, with 50 additional seats reserved for women and allocated proportionally. Any party or alliance with 151 seats will be eligible to form the government. For many voters, especially the young, this election is about more than choosing a government. It's about restoring faith in democracy.
We want a proper constitution in this referendum.
The feeling is good. I'm a first-time voter. I'm gonna give vote to one person. They're gonna change our country and they change everything for our government, our study materials, and we're gonna go anywhere for free.
Jamaat-e-Islami leaders have promised economic reforms, alongside conservative agendas such as special Islamic scholarships for students. while BNP's Tarique Rahman, the son of former Prime Minister Khalida Zia, has pledged to put the country on a new path of development. Opinion polls suggest the BNP has an edge, but some indicate a razor-thin race. The next government will inherit delicate regional ties, particularly with India. Since Yunus took charge of the interim government, Bangladesh's relations with India have nosedived. On the contrary, Yunus has courted China and Pakistan. For many Bangladeshis, this is more than an election. It is a referendum on the uprising, on reform, and on whether the country can chart a new course without slipping back into political unrest. Now, for more on this, we have with us Shoaib Chaudhry, who's the editor of Blitz. He's joining us live from Dhaka. Mr. Chaudhry, welcome to Firstpost. So, quickly getting in, with just over an hour left before polls close, how would you assess the overall conduct of the election?
Thank you very much, Ms. Carmen. Actually, the election, as you know, taking place just in 2 years of the previous election, which was held in 2024. But today's election, I was in the polling station during the first hour when the voting started at 7 a.m. in the morning, and people were enthusiastic, people were participating. At the same time, I have seen a very large number of young voters who also showed up in the polling stations. And as you also mentioned, referring to the exports, that even Awami workers and activists, they are also voting. But one thing is very clear from this, that this election, though, is for the first time, as I said, where people can vote, but still there are allegations of vote rigging, there are allegations of manipulation, particularly centering the referendum, because the state machinery is playing some role in rigging the result of the referendum, which is also very normal in this country. There had been 3 referendums in this country in 1979 and 84 and then 1991. So a referendum means it's manipulated result, but about the voting results, in 1 hour, less than 1 hour, the voting process will end, and then we will know what is the result. But I don't think that this is going to be a tight contest between Jamaat-e-Islami and BNP.
How much could today's result reshape Bangladesh's foreign policy, particularly its ties with India? Are we looking at potential strategic reset depending on who forms the next government?
This is a very good question for me to answer, because you see, I really don't know what should be the response to this question, because we need to wait for some time to really get a proper reply to this question, because it would be a little early to address this question.
That was Shoaib Chaudhry, editor of Blitz. Thank you for speaking to Firstpost and sharing your insights.
Thank you.
Power doesn't end quietly. Some deaths are not accidents. They are messages. A gunshot. A crowd. A country frozen. The killer disappears. The questions don't. This is not just about who died. It's about what followed. Governments fell. Armies moved. History rewrote itself. 5 leaders. 5 moments. One pattern. The assassination.